Welcome back, and this is the last problem, probably the last video in the colligative properties series of videos, right? This is a very straightforward problem, but there's a few things that you may not know or you may know, and I'm going to walk you through those before we actually solve the problem. So the question clearly asks you to calculate the osmotic pressure. So the generic equation is pi equals m times R times T dot I, right? Right. Sodium sulfate is an ionic compound. Okay, so to find the value of Vant Hoff factor, first, again, don't forget that we have learned the idea of cross swapping. So there's nothing here. Don't write it as Na4 plus and try to get Nobel Prize, all right? So don't do that. So Na is always +1 and sulfate is 2 minus, right? But keep in mind there's 2 sodium, so to put a 2 in front. Now, we have done this cross swapping, but we didn't really pay attention to how many sodium because that was not the purpose of the problems we've done. So we have 2 of these, 1 of this, so it's I equals 3. Okay, so we know this. Now, if you keep in mind, T must be expressed in Kelvin, not degree Celsius, degree Kelvin, right? Here the answer is the question, the problem given is 25 degrees Celsius. To go from degree Celsius to degree Kelvin, whatever the value that you're given, so it's 25 degrees Celsius, you add that to 273. This is a constant, so it's 25 degrees C, so it's 298 Kelvin. Okay, this is a constant. Whatever the value you given, you add it to 273. 273 is absolute temperature. Okay, so you add that to 25 and you get 298 Kelvin. Okay, so we now know T is 298 Kelvin. If you don't do it, your answer will be different. Even though that might be one of the answer choices, doesn't mean you got it right. So I is 3, T is 298. R is called gas constant, which I will give it to you on the back of the appendix. You do not have to remember this. This is 0.0821 liter dot atmosphere over mole Kelvin. It's a long unit. Again, you do not have to remember any of this information. I will give that to you because that does not show that you know the material or not, because this is just straightforward. And M is given to you is 0.05 molar. So all we have to do now is plug it in. So it's 0.0500 times R is 0.0821 times T is 298 Kelvin times I is 3. So you put all that together, you will get the final answer. Okay, so that is osmotic pressure is 3.66 atm. How do I know it's atm? Because atm is in here. All right, so as I said, there's a couple of creative problems on this concept like we did for the other 3 concepts. I don't want to make another video for it. Instead, I have given you all prior knowledge information in the previous videos for these concepts. To keep the number of videos small, I'm not going to do a separate video for those creative problems. I'm going to test that to you in class. Again, that would require you to implement your knowledge from 170. Again, if you get stuck at any point in time, I'm there with you, so just ask me questions as we do it. And then that concludes the concept of colligative properties. So the next time I'll see you with intermolecular forces, and then the concept after that would be gas laws. All right, so stay tuned.